Alright lads, let's talk about the big one, the granddaddy of them all, the FIFA World Cup. This isn't just any tournament, it's the pinnacle of football, the dream of every player, and the spectacle that unites millions around the globe. Picture this, 1930, Uruguay. A small country with a big heart, ready to host the first ever World Cup. The streets of Montevideo were bustling with excitement, a city on the brink of making history. The world's still recovering from a bit of a financial hiccup. You might have heard of it, the Great Depression. Times were tough, and people were looking for a distraction, something to lift their spirits and bring a bit of joy into their lives. But amidst all the doom and gloom, a bunch of blokes decided it was time for some footy. They believed that football could be the light in the darkness, a way to bring people together and forget their troubles, even if just for a little while. And not just any footy, mind you, but a proper international showdown. Teams from all over the world coming together to compete and showcase their skills on the global stage. It was an ambitious idea, but one that would change the world of sports forever. Jules Rimet, a French fellow with a passion for the beautiful game, spearheaded the whole shebang. He had a vision, a dream of a world united by football, and he wasn't going to let anything stand in his way. They rounded up 13 teams, most of them from the Americas, because, let's be honest, crossing the Atlantic back then was a right pain in the backside. It wasn't like today, with fancy planes and quick flights. No, these lads had to brave the seas, enduring long and arduous journeys just to get to the tournament. They kicked off in Montevideo, and thus, the World Cup was born. The stadiums were packed, the atmosphere electric, and the excitement palpable. It was a momentous occasion, the start of something truly special. Uruguay, the hosts, ended up winning the first tournament, beating Argentina in a tense final. The match was a nail-biter, filled with drama and excitement, and when the final whistle blew, the celebrations were unlike anything the world had ever seen. It was a sign of things to come, South American flair, passion, and a whole lot of drama. The World Cup had made its mark, and it was clear that this was just the beginning of a long and storied tradition. Who needs Netflix when you've got the World Cup, eh? The drama, the excitement, the sheer unpredictability of it all. It's the greatest show on earth, and it all started back in 1930. Right from the start, the World Cup had that special something. It wasn't just about the football, it was about the stories, the heroes, the moments that would be remembered for generations. It wasn't just about the football, you see. It was about national pride, about coming together, about forgetting your troubles for 90 minutes and just enjoying the beautiful game. It was brilliant. The World Cup became a symbol of hope, a beacon of unity in a world that often seemed divided. It showed us that no matter where we come from, we can all come together to celebrate something we love. And that, my friends, is the true magic of the World Cup. Now, the World Cup was supposed to be every 4 years, a bit like a leap year, but with more goals and fewer awkward calendar calculations. But then came along a bit of a spanner in the works, World War II. From 1938 to 1950, the tournament was put on hold. I mean, it's a bit hard to justify kicking a ball around when the world's gone completely bonkers, isn't it? Instead of fancy footwork and tactical masterclasses, we had, well, a slightly more serious global situation to deal with. But once the dust settled and the world started putting itself back together, the beautiful game made a triumphant return. 1950, Brazil. The tournament was back, bigger and arguably better than ever. It was like the whole world was ready to forget about the horrors of the war and just enjoy some cracking football. Italy, the two-time defending champions, were eliminated in the first round for the first time in history. Uruguay, who had won the inaugural competition in 1930, defeated the host nation Brazil. Now, where do I even begin with this lot? We've had some right corkers over the years. Remember that time in 1954 when West Germany beat Hungary in the final? The mighty Magyars, they called them. Unbeatable, they said. Well, someone forgot to tell the Germans, didn't they? And who could forget 1966? England, playing at home, lifting the trophy for the first and, so far, only time. They think it's all over. Pure magic, lads, pure magic. Of course, it hasn't all been plain sailing. We've had our fair share of controversies too. Diego Maradona's hand of God goal in '86. Zinedine Zidane's headbutt in the 2006 final. Look, I love a bit of passion as much as the next bloke, but sometimes you've just got to keep a lid on it, haven't you? But that's the beauty of the World Cup, innit? It's full of surprises, full of moments that make you laugh, cry, and want to launch your remote at the telly. It's absolutely bonkers, and I wouldn't have it any other way. The journey of football, or as many call it, the beautiful game, has been nothing short of extraordinary. From its humble beginnings to becoming the global phenomenon it is today, football has evolved in ways that even its earliest players could never have imagined. So the first World Cup had 13 teams. It was a modest start, but it laid the foundation for something much bigger. These teams came together in Uruguay in 1930, representing their nations with pride and passion. These days, we've got a whopping 32 teams battling it out for glory. The expansion of the tournament has allowed more countries to participate, bringing a diverse range of playing styles and cultures to the global stage. The contest starts with the qualification phase, which takes place over the preceding 3 years to determine which teams qualify for the tournament phase. In the tournament phase, the teams compete for the title at venues within the host nations over the course of about a month. The competition is scheduled to expand to 48 teams, starting with the 2026 tournament. The more teams, the more excitement, the more stories to tell. Each World Cup brings new heroes, new legends, and unforgettable moments that fans cherish for a lifetime. The more, the merrier, I say. Football is a universal language, and the World Cup is its grandest stage. It's where dreams are made and hearts are broken, where the impossible becomes possible. Back in the day, most of the teams were from Europe and South America. These regions dominated the early tournaments, showcasing their footballing prowess and setting the standards for the rest of the world. But over the years, we've seen the World Cup become a truly global affair. The inclusion of teams from every corner of the globe has enriched the competition, making it more unpredictable and thrilling. Teams from Africa, Asia, North America, they've all had their moments in the sun. These teams have brought their unique flair and determination, challenging the traditional powerhouses and creating some of the most memorable upsets in World Cup history. And the style of play? Oh, that's evolved too. We've seen a shift from the more direct physical approach of the early days to a game that's more strategic and nuanced. It is a fast-paced and tactical game we see today. Think tiki-taka, gegenpressing, all that fancy stuff. Modern football is a chess match on grass, with managers and players constantly adapting and innovating. It's enough to make your head spin if you're not careful. The speed, the skill, the tactical battles, it's a feast for the eyes and a test for the nerves. But one thing that hasn't changed is the passion, the drama, the sheer unpredictability of it all. Every match is a new story, every tournament a new chapter in the epic saga of football. That's what makes the World Cup so special, lads. It's a celebration of the sport, a showcase of the best talent from around the world, and a reminder of why we love the game. It's a roller coaster ride from start to finish, filled with highs and lows, triumphs and heartbreaks, and you never know what's going to happen next. Football, or soccer as some call it, is more than just a sport. It's a universal language that transcends borders, cultures and languages. Every 4 years, the World Cup becomes a stage where the world comes together to celebrate this beautiful game. As of the 2022 FIFA World Cup, 22 final tournaments have been held since the event's inception in 1930, and a total of 80 national teams have competed. The trophy has been won by 8 national teams. With 5 wins, Brazil is the only team to have played in every tournament. The other World Cup winners are Germany and Italy, with 4 titles each. Argentina, with 3 titles. France and inaugural winner Uruguay, each with 2 titles, and England and Spain with 1 title each. Germany has made the most top 4 finishes, 13, as well as the most finals, 8. The World Cup is the most prestigious association football tournament in the world, as well as the most widely viewed and followed single sporting event in the world. It's a chance for people from all over the world to come together, put on their colours and cheer on their teams. The viewership of the 2018 World Cup was estimated to be 3.57 billion, close to half of the global population, with about 1.5 billion people watching the final match. 17 countries have hosted the World Cup, most recently Qatar, who hosted the 2022 event. The 2026 tournament will be jointly hosted by Canada, the United States and Mexico, which will give Mexico the distinction of being the first country to host games in 3 World Cups. It will be epic. Don't forget to give your like to the video, leave a comment and subscribe to the channel. Albo.